Having a headache? Google it. Weird rash? Google it. Feeling tired? Google it and discover you have 3 terminal diseases and need immediate surgery. Some people take medical advice from the internet so seriously that they turn minor symptoms into major disasters. Here are 45 times people Googled medical symptoms and proved that a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. 1. A woman Googled headache behind eyes and convinced herself she had a brain tumor. She spent $3,000 on private MRI scans and consulted 4 different neurologists before discovering her headaches were caused by wearing her reading glasses upside down for 2 weeks. She had never noticed the glasses were inverted and thought the constant headaches were a neurological emergency rather than an eyewear malfunction. 2. A man Googled chest pain and immediately drove himself to the emergency room, convinced he was having a heart attack. After extensive cardiac testing revealed nothing wrong, doctors discovered he had been doing push-ups incorrectly for a month and had strained his chest muscles. He refused to believe the diagnosis and demanded a second opinion because Google said chest pain means heart attack. 3. A college student Googled memory problems after forgetting where she put her keys and became convinced she had early-onset Alzheimer's. She wrote herself detailed daily schedules, left sticky notes everywhere, and made her roommate quiz her on basic information. The memory loss disappeared when she stopped staying up until 4 a.m. studying and got adequate sleep, but she remained convinced Google had saved her from undiagnosed dementia. 4. A woman Googled white spots on tongue and decided she had oral cancer. She stopped eating solid foods for 2 weeks and demanded emergency oncology consultations. The white spots were caused by drinking too much coffee and not brushing her tongue properly. When her dentist explained this, she accused him of missing obvious cancer symptoms and sought 3 more dental opinions before accepting the hygiene explanation. 5. A man Googled joint pain and convinced himself he had rheumatoid arthritis. He began taking massive doses of anti-inflammatory supplements and changed his entire diet to anti-arthritis foods he found online. His joint pain was caused by sleeping on a broken mattress that had been sagging for months. When he finally replaced the mattress, his arthritis disappeared overnight, but he credited his supplement regimen instead. 6. A teenager Googled irregular heartbeat after feeling her pulse during anxiety and became convinced she had a heart condition. She made her parents buy a home heart monitor and checked her pulse every 15 minutes for 3 months. Her irregular heartbeat was normal variation that happens when people are anxious or have been drinking caffeine, but she refused to believe this and demanded cardiac specialists confirm her self-diagnosis. 7. A woman Googled hair loss and decided she had an autoimmune disease causing baldness. She spent thousands on specialized shampoos, vitamins, and scalp treatments while documenting her hair loss journey on social media. Her hair was falling out because she had been using a new straightening iron daily without heat protectant, literally burning her hair off. When she stopped heat styling, her hair recovered completely. 8. A man Googled stomach pain and convinced himself he had appendicitis. He called an ambulance and demanded emergency surgery, insisting doctors operate immediately before his appendix burst. His stomach pain was caused by eating an entire bag of spicy chips, followed by 3 energy drinks on an empty stomach. The emergency room sent him home with antacids and dietary advice, but he remained convinced they had missed his appendicitis. 9. A college student Googled difficulty concentrating and decided she had ADHD. She began taking unprescribed ADHD medication borrowed from friends and implemented elaborate study systems designed for attention disorders. Her concentration problems were caused by trying to study while watching Netflix, checking social media, and having music playing simultaneously. When she eliminated distractions, her focus improved dramatically without medication. 10. A woman Googled skin rash and became convinced she had lupus. She avoided sunlight completely, changed her entire skincare routine, and demanded autoimmune testing from multiple specialists. Her rash was caused by using a new laundry detergent that contained allergens. When she switched back to her original detergent, the rash disappeared, but she remained convinced she had narrowly avoided a lupus diagnosis through early intervention. 11. A man Googled frequent urination and decided he had diabetes. He began testing his blood sugar with a borrowed glucose meter and eliminated all carbohydrates from his diet. His frequent urination was caused by drinking 6 cups of coffee and 4 energy drinks daily while working long hours. When he reduced his caffeine intake, his bathroom trips returned to normal, but he credited his carb-free diet with preventing diabetes. 12. A teenager Googled mood swings and convinced herself she had bipolar disorder. She began tracking her moods hourly and refused to make plans because of her unstable mental state. Her mood swings were normal teenage hormone fluctuations combined with stress from school and social drama. When her parents suggested seeing a counselor, she insisted she needed psychiatric medication for her self-diagnosed condition. 13. A woman Googled dry eyes and decided she had Sjogren's syndrome. She began using prescription eye drops borrowed from friends and avoided air conditioning and fans. Her dry eyes were caused by staring at computer screens for 12 hours daily without blinking adequately. When she started following the 20-20-20 rule for screen time, her eyes improved, but she maintained that early intervention had prevented autoimmune disease. 14. A man Googled muscle twitches and became convinced he had ALS. He filmed his muscle movements and brought the videos to neurologists, demanding immediate testing for degenerative disease. His muscle twitches were caused by drinking excessive amounts of pre-workout supplements containing high levels of caffeine and stimulants. When he stopped the supplements, the twitching ceased, but he refused to believe it was supplement-related. 15. A college student Googled fatigue and decided she had chronic fatigue syndrome. She began limiting her activities and telling professors about her chronic illness to get assignment extensions. Her fatigue was caused by staying up until 3 a.m. scrolling social media and eating nothing but energy bars and coffee. When she established normal sleep and eating patterns, her energy returned to normal levels. 16. A woman Googled neck pain and convinced herself she had meningitis. She went to 3 emergency rooms demanding spinal taps and antibiotic treatment. Her neck pain was caused by sleeping with 4 pillows stacked under her head for a week after reading that elevated sleeping was healthier. When she returned to normal pillow arrangements, her neck pain disappeared immediately. 17. A man Googled dizziness and decided he had a brain tumor. He demanded immediate MRI scans and refused to drive or work until receiving brain imaging. His dizziness was caused by standing up too quickly after sitting hunched over his computer for hours at a time. When he started taking regular breaks and staying hydrated, the dizziness stopped, but he credited early tumor detection with saving his life. 18. A teenager Googled acne and became convinced she had hormonal disorders requiring medical intervention. She began taking various hormone-balancing supplements and demanded endocrine testing. Her acne was caused by using thick makeup and not washing her face properly before bed. When she simplified her skincare routine and removed makeup nightly, her skin cleared up within weeks. 19. A woman Googled hand numbness and decided she had carpal tunnel syndrome. She began wearing wrist braces constantly and demanded workplace accommodations for her repetitive stress injury. Her hand numbness was caused by sleeping with her arm under her pillow every night for months. When she changed her sleeping position, the numbness disappeared, but she maintained that early treatment had prevented permanent nerve damage. 20. A man Googled back pain and convinced himself he had a herniated disc requiring surgery. He stopped all physical activity and demanded MRI scans and specialist referrals. His back pain was caused by sitting in a broken office chair that had lost its lumbar support 6 months earlier. When he replaced the chair, his back pain resolved completely, but he credited rest and early intervention with preventing spinal surgery. 21. A college student Googled anxiety symptoms and decided she had panic disorder, requiring immediate medication. She began avoiding situations that might trigger anxiety and demanded psychiatric evaluation. Her anxiety symptoms were caused by drinking 4 energy drinks daily and sleeping 3 hours per night during finals week. When she eliminated caffeine and got adequate sleep, her anxiety disappeared. 22. A woman Googled leg cramps and became convinced she had blood clots requiring emergency treatment. She went to the emergency room demanding ultrasounds and blood thinners. Her leg cramps were caused by dehydration from trying a new cleanse diet that eliminated most liquids except lemon water. When she resumed normal hydration, the cramps stopped immediately. 23. A man Googled vision changes and decided he was going blind from diabetes. He began testing his blood sugar constantly and eliminated all sugar from his diet. His vision changes were caused by needing new prescription glasses after wearing the same pair for 5 years. When he got an eye exam and updated prescription, his vision returned to normal. 24. A teenager Googled weight loss and convinced herself she had hyperthyroidism. She demanded thyroid testing and began taking metabolism-boosting supplements. Her weight loss was caused by growth spurts and increased activity from joining the track team. When her parents explained normal adolescent development, she remained convinced she had narrowly avoided thyroid disease through early detection. 25. A woman Googled cold hands and decided she had circulation problems requiring cardiac evaluation. She began wearing gloves indoors and demanded vascular testing. Her cold hands were caused by keeping her office air conditioning at 65 degrees and sitting directly under a ceiling fan. When she adjusted the temperature and moved her desk, her hands warmed up normally. 26. A man Googled hearing problems and became convinced he was going deaf from genetic disorders. He began learning sign language and demanded audiological testing. His hearing problems were caused by earwax buildup from using cotton swabs daily for months. When a doctor removed the wax, his hearing returned to normal, but he credited early intervention with preventing permanent deafness. 27. A college student Googled trouble sleeping and decided she had severe insomnia requiring prescription medication. She began tracking her sleep obsessively and avoiding her bedroom during daytime hours. Her sleep problems were caused by drinking coffee at 8 p.m. and scrolling her phone in bed until midnight. When she eliminated evening caffeine and screens, she slept normally again. 28. A woman Googled brittle nails and convinced herself she had nutritional deficiencies requiring extensive supplementation. She began taking 12 different vitamins and demanded blood work for nutrient levels. Her brittle nails were caused by using nail polish remover 3 times per week and never using hand cream. When she reduced nail treatments and moisturized regularly, her nails improved significantly. 29. A man Googled seasonal allergies and decided he had developed severe environmental sensitivities, requiring lifestyle changes. He began avoiding outdoors completely and demanded allergy testing for hundreds of substances. His seasonal symptoms were caused by not changing his car's cabin air filter for 3 years. When he replaced the filter, his allergies disappeared during his daily commute. 30. A teenager Googled growth concerns and became convinced she had hormone deficiencies preventing normal development. She demanded endocrine evaluation and growth hormone testing. Her growth concerns were normal variation in adolescent development timing, and she was actually growing at a perfectly healthy rate for her age and genetics. 31. A woman Googled digestive issues and decided she had celiac disease requiring complete gluten elimination. She began following strict gluten-free diets and demanded celiac testing. Her digestive issues were caused by eating fast food for every meal and never consuming fiber or vegetables. When she improved her diet quality, her digestion normalized without gluten elimination. 32. A man Googled muscle weakness and convinced himself he had muscular dystrophy. He began avoiding physical activity and demanded genetic testing for muscle diseases. His muscle weakness was caused by sitting at a desk for 10 hours daily without exercise for 6 months. When he started a basic fitness routine, his strength returned to normal levels. 33. A college student Googled poor appetite and decided she had eating disorders requiring psychiatric treatment. She began forcing herself to eat and tracking every bite obsessively. Her poor appetite was caused by stress from relationship problems and academic pressure. When her life stress decreased, her normal appetite returned without medical intervention. 34. A woman Googled skin discoloration and became convinced she had liver disease requiring immediate testing. She avoided alcohol completely and demanded hepatic function panels. Her skin discoloration was caused by using a new self-tanning product incorrectly, creating uneven orange patches. When the fake tan faded, her normal skin color returned. 35. A man Googled balance problems and decided he had inner ear disorders requiring specialist treatment. He began avoiding stairs and demanded vestibular testing. His balance problems were caused by new prescription glasses with a significantly different prescription that required adjustment time. After a week of wearing the new glasses consistently, his balance returned to normal. 36. A teenager Googled voice changes and convinced herself she had throat cancer requiring immediate evaluation. She stopped speaking loudly and demanded oncological consultation. Her voice changes were normal adolescent vocal development combined with mild laryngitis from cheering at sporting events. When she rested her voice and stayed hydrated, it returned to normal. 37. A woman Googled temperature sensitivity and decided she had thyroid disorders requiring hormone replacement therapy. She began taking thyroid supplements borrowed from friends and demanded endocrine testing. Her temperature sensitivity was caused by losing 20 pounds and no longer having sufficient body fat for insulation. When she gained healthy weight back, her temperature regulation normalized. 38. A man Googled coordination problems and became convinced he had neurological disorders requiring brain imaging. He began avoiding activities requiring fine motor skills and demanded neurology consultations. His coordination problems were caused by wearing progressive lenses for the first time without properly adjusting to the new visual zones. When he learned to use the glasses correctly, his coordination improved. 39. A college student Googled attention problems and decided she had brain fog from autoimmune conditions requiring specialized treatment. She began eliminating foods and taking cognitive supplements. Her attention problems were caused by taking 18 credit hours while working 25 hours per week and sleeping 4 hours nightly. When she reduced her course load, her concentration improved dramatically. 40. A woman Googled joint stiffness and convinced herself she had early arthritis requiring anti-inflammatory treatment. She began taking prescription arthritis medications borrowed from relatives and demanded rheumatological evaluation. Her joint stiffness was caused by starting yoga class after years of inactivity. When her body adjusted to regular exercise, the stiffness disappeared naturally. 41. A man Googled breathing problems and decided he had asthma requiring emergency inhalers. He began carrying borrowed inhalers and avoiding physical activity. His breathing problems were caused by poor cardiovascular fitness from sedentary lifestyle. When he gradually increased his activity level, his breathing improved without respiratory medication. 42. A teenager Googled mood changes and became convinced she had hormonal imbalances requiring medical intervention. She began tracking her emotions hourly and demanded hormone testing. Her mood changes were normal responses to starting high school, social pressures, and family stress. When she learned healthy coping strategies, her emotional regulation improved naturally. 43. A woman Googled memory lapses and decided she had early dementia requiring cognitive testing. She began leaving notes everywhere and avoiding complex tasks. Her memory lapses were caused by multitasking constantly and never focusing completely on any single activity. When she practiced mindfulness and single tasking, her memory improved significantly. 44. A man Googled energy crashes and convinced himself he had adrenal fatigue requiring hormone supplementation. He began taking adrenal support supplements and demanded endocrine evaluation. His energy crashes were caused by eating nothing but sugary snacks and energy drinks, creating blood sugar spikes and crashes. When he stabilized his diet with regular meals, his energy became consistent throughout the day. 45. And finally, the most spectacularly misguided medical self-diagnosis of all time. A woman Googled general wellness symptoms and became convinced she had multiple rare diseases simultaneously requiring immediate comprehensive medical intervention. After reading various health websites, she decided her combination of mild fatigue, occasional headaches, and dry skin indicated lupus, fibromyalgia, thyroid disease, vitamin deficiencies, and possible autoimmune disorders all occurring together. She demanded testing for dozens of conditions, began taking supplements for diseases she didn't have, and scheduled appointments with 7 different specialists within 1 week. She created detailed medical timelines, photographed every perceived symptom, and brought printed internet articles to each appointment explaining why doctors needed to test for rare disease combinations. Her multiple rare diseases were caused by working night shifts, drinking only coffee and energy drinks, eating vending machine food, and getting 3 hours of sleep nightly for 2 months. When she returned to normal work hours, proper nutrition, and adequate sleep, every single symptom disappeared within a week. However, she remained convinced that her comprehensive early intervention protocol had cured multiple serious diseases and continued taking unnecessary supplements while warning others about the dangers of undiagnosed rare disease combinations that doctors might miss without patient advocacy and internet research. These medical self-diagnosis disasters prove that sometimes the most dangerous thing about the internet isn't misinformation. It's people who take medical advice from search engines more seriously than their actual symptoms. Which story made you want to ban medical websites? The upside-down glasses brain tumor? The multiple rare diseases from poor sleep? The broken chair herniated disc? Share your own Google medical diagnosis stories and subscribe for more proof that sometimes the real symptom is too much internet access.